Well, my laptop just told me the recording's in progress.
Yes, it did it for me as well.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Welcome everyone to the Bean Cells podcast, where Beanie Boys banter about brutal bops. As ever, it's me, Manny, and it's him, Shorsh. How the fucking hell are you doing, man?
You're right. Good.
Good. No, fantastic.
Getting brutal as per usual.
No, mate, that's all we do on this podcast. And today, oh man, I think we've both been like equally excited and been dreading this one. Where we're talking about one of the best.
I wanted to do the intro to this, didn't I?
No, actually, fuck it. You go ahead, do the intro.
Yeah. Because I had a funny thing. So there is this funny band where most of the time all of them are shirtless because they hate shirts. And also it's time for you to get those shorts on.
Oh yes,
I mean, we're talking about the Black Dahlia Murder. Those guys love their shorts and they love being shirtless. I just have Black Dahlia Murder shorts, and we're talking about those guys. They are a crazy bunch of fucking
They're death metal lunatics. They've had a reputation. Maybe that reputation slowed down a bit now, but like they had a reputation for a long time as like maybe like modern death metal's biggest party band. They kind of just had that whole thing of like these guys. They like to get on the road, have fun, and fucking
party band.
Yeah, rage the fuck out, drink and smoke and goof around and like. But absolutely. This is a band.
They played a show dressed as a Scooby-Doo gang.
Come on, man! Meshuggah isn't going to come on stage doing that, are they? Like, they can just as a random fucking pick out the thing. Like, you're not going to expect like Obituary to come on stage doing that.
Although that would be excellent if Obituary did that. I would listen to more Obituary and respect them more than I do now.
Probably.
Seeing John Tardy dressed as Scooby-Doo doing those fucking vocals, that'd be great.
Can you imagine John Tardy doing a fucking Scooby-Doo one?
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck you know! I can't even do fucking Scooby-Doo impersonation, but that's my best thing. Right.
It's about as good as what Trevor's was.
No, not quite. Right, before we go any further, do want to address, we were meant to be doing an in-person today, but essentially, like, I've had a fucking week. I don't want to go too much into it because we're not here to bum anyone out, but Jesus Christ, my week has been just a fucking bit of a shitter. Getting back to normal with the COVID stuff and things, but essentially there will be
things and stuff.
The things and stuff and things. But next week there will be, and I'll be heading over to the homie's house, and we'll be in person, and there can be no like fucking like interruptions,
no delays, no Wi-Fi issues.
None of it. We're gonna break new ground.
Also the ability to actually have physical disputes instead of only verbal disputes when we disagree.
Yeah, no. I mean, he might slap me for all I know. He might give me a fat little backhand. Yeah. Things could get violent, you know. You need to be checking this shit out. Like this, like I might have to do a DDT on him, just like full on, just in the middle of his living room. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? It's going to be a fucking explosion.
I think maybe that was a good thing actually, because this one could probably be pretty controversial between us, because like.
Yeah,
the band's so fucking consistent. It's like you put that above that, but like, I mean, we've both been the same of like having to review our fucking rankings like so many times because it's so difficult to rank this fucking band. Aside from one of the albums, the rest of them, it's like, dude, fucking, could you get a little bit less consistent, please?
I've been reading in the preparation of doing this. I've been listening, re-listening, listening to everything, and just going like, I have to fucking put these albums one above the other. Like, this is by far the hardest one we've done. It's not even close. With every other one, like there was a point in the discography where it got hard, right? Out of the 9 studio records that the Black Dahlia Murder has released, this started to get hard at number 8. Genuinely, it freaked me the fuck out to be doing this podcast, to be honest with you. But
I did it. I made my ranking once, and then I never touched it, but I kept thinking about it, and I've only just tweaked it now.
Yeah, I've had a lot of revisions. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I've had a lot of mental ones.
Yeah, no, I mean, my one, like I said to you before, I went off strictly off of the one that feels the least wrong. Even looking at it now, like it still just feels fucked that I have to put one of these albums above it. But this one feels, I'm like, okay, this one doesn't make me want to fucking like cut my own stomach out of myself and eat it. Like I don't feel, which would be pretty metal, but you know, I mean, I don't want to fucking scream when I look at this list. Like, so yeah, we're covering the Black Dahlia Murder, who are famously, I think at this point, but I think say famously, just one of the most consistent bands when it comes to putting out records. Like
the biggest as well.
Yeah,
they're so good at what they do that people have even labeled them as generic.
Yeah. So. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, so they're one of those bands, and I think this is a good path for a band to take when they've established themselves. Where when you hear a Black Dahlia tune, you know it's them, and they're not going to stray too far from that kind of that signature, like very energetic, very melodic, but very heavy, like
classical elements,
like melodic death metal sound,
weird ass high screams.
Yeah, no, exactly. They have a signature sound. They're not going to stray too far from it, but at the same time, like each record does have slight variations, and they do, you know, they do step outside of their comfort zones a little bit within the brackets of their sound in general. So I think that, you know, they legitimately, I don't think they've put out a single album which I would call below an 8 out of 10. Like there isn't one. Like I mean, okay, we're going to start off from the beginning here. And we're also going to give a little bit of a spoiler in terms of the fact that we begin in 2003 with the first record these guys put out, which was Unhallowed. And spoiler alert, right? This is the one where I have no problem saying this to begin with. The debut album is the weakest one, and we forgive them for that because number one, we're talking about an extremely young band coming out of the gates, playing very stuff that's very much at the gates. So it's like this album sounds like to me a bunch of young kids who went, oh man, melodic death metal is awesome. Let's play some melodic death metal, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and let's also have a little bit of metalcore in there because that's what they were.
Yeah, that's
what they're mainly doing.
So the first EP, which is called "What a Horrible Night to Have a Curse," which has obviously become a song title later on in their career. But the first EP was an actual metalcore EP. I've listened to it. It's all right. Like it's like melodic death metal with breakdowns in, right? Like it's that kind of metalcore that like Darkest Hour and like lots of bands like that did. But on this one, I think the similarity to metalcore comes from the way the album's produced, the way it sounds really similar to a lot of those bands.
Yeah.
And obviously, it literally sounds like produced that kind of
soon-to-be bassist.
Yeah, exactly.
At this point in time.
Yeah, it had that production job, which had, if you listen to a lot of those bands around the time, it had that kind of similar raw, kind of almost tinny sound that a lot of metalcore bands have. And obviously they were pulling from the melodic death metal that a lot of those bands were, but just without the hardcore element, without the breakdowns. So it does sound a bit metalcore-y. So you know, but where I don't think it's a bad album at all is where a lot of debut records from metal bands are still great in that this album has that fucking, it's not quite as tight as they get later on. It's not quite as focused as the sound, and it hasn't found they haven't found their sound yet, but there are moments.
There are still some tunes.
Yeah, there are still some tunes, and I think you can really hear like that youthful enthusiasm come out of the gate. There's one track in particular, and I cannot remember what it's called for the life of me. I'm going to peck at my phone for a sec. I got a new phone, by the way. But yeah, there's one track in particular which is my favorite, and it's one of the. I think it's still one of the actual fastest songs they've ever made. I'll see if I can look at these song titles and refresh my memory, but there's one tune in particular that I love from this record that I like. I've got a feeling it's Hymn for the Wretched. I've just got a feeling it's Hymn for the Wretched. There's a track sort of towards the latter end of the album, which is so fast. It's like really fast. Like it stands out from the rest of the record. Like it's like fucking almost Cryptopsy speed blasting, but like with a melodic. And it's fucking sick. I love it. But you know, Funeral first, bit of a classic of the era.
Everyone loves that song. You got
Yeah.
Elder Misanthropy. Everyone loves that song.
Thy Horror
Post-Casket
Cosmic.
Requiem.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's not a bad record, man. Especially for a group of actual fetuses making their first record. Like it's you know what I mean. Like they were still fucking kids at this point. Like I want to say they were like 19, 20 or something. You know what I mean? Like they were.
Yeah, I think Trevor was probably about 20 or something. He's the
Yeah,
oldest in the band, isn't he?
so you know, real young bands coming out of the gates with this album. Yeah, it lacks identity. That to me is the biggest flaw. And but at the same time, like man, it's forgivable, especially
It's so
obviously.
fun.
Especially obviously within the context of the whole discography, when you know that what they're going to do with this is a foundation later on. But yeah, you're going to have to stop me from talking too much because I'm a bit of a super nerd.
No, don't worry. I was horrible in the Trivium episode, so it's only fair.
No. We can look. What's your take on Unhallowed in general?
I mean, this was the first time I'd ever listened to Unhallowed the whole way through. I definitely enjoyed it. Obviously, it has the classic thing of Black Dahlia liking to start out their albums with sounds and scenery to make it have an atmosphere.
I mean that's generally quite a death metal thing to do, isn't it? To have the kind of the creepy atmospherics.
Yeah. The only songs I really knew off of here before that was Funeral First, and that was it. Yeah, I listened to it beforehand and kind of not listening to it ever again because it wasn't what I thought of when I thought of Black Dahlia Murder, and that's what I think of this album because, like you said, it lacks identity. But that's not to say it's bad. I would probably jam this again if I wanted to listen to Black Dahlia Murder and just didn't know, just had already listened to other albums that interest me more than this one. But yeah, decent debut, you know. I'd say it's somewhere near how good Morbid Angel's debut was, you know. It's a fucking classic still.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
I mean, it kind of tells you though how like they were gonna take a good turn towards like they were gonna keep consistency and take stuff from this album.
Right?
Morbid Angel's first debut wasn't. All right, yeah, maybe I phrased that wrong. It's not as good as the Morbid Angel debut, but it's the same sort of premise.
Right? Yeah, no, sure. In terms of them,
yeah, because the Morbid Angel debut sounds nothing like, basically nothing like Blessed is Sick. It's less thrashy, obviously, on Blessed is Sick. So I say it's kind of the same type of idea as where they haven't really got identity yet, but they're going to draw from this and make it their own and then have just a super consistent discography, which Morbid Angel did not have, unfortunately.
No, absolutely. Like the Black Dahlia Murder have definitely out-finessed Morbid Angel in terms of consistency through your whole career. I mean, they're one of the shining examples, as I'm sure we'll get to. But yeah. Unhallowed is nowhere near the level of Altars of Madness, and I think the members of the Black Dahlia Murder would wholeheartedly agree with that statement, without question. Like you're talking about like something which legitimately is barely aged and is like one of the most influential, and it's still so good. But we know this. We did a whole fucking Morbid Angel special. Watch it if you haven't.
Yeah. No, I phrased that wrong. I
do know what you mean though. It laid the foundation. But yeah, that's Unhallowed. So then we move forward to is it 2005? It is 2005, isn't it? Yes. I'm pretty sure. We move forward to 2005 with Miasma. Now, what I was saying beforehand about lacking identity, that's kind of where that changes, because to me, this is the first record that legitimately sounds like the Black Dahlia Murder as you have come to know and love them.
Yeah, it's got the thing where like there's definitely lots of tremolo pick parts in it. That's for sure. Where it's like constant tremolo picking, mainly on the song Miasma, because like that whole riff is just all tremolo picking,
and it's sick.
It's a very good riff. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
They follow that sort of triplet pattern, which I mean I've never listened to at the gates, but from what I know, that's kind of the at the gates thing where they do the triplets and stuff like that. But yeah, this was definitely the Black Dahlia Murder record. I mean, it's a Black Dahlia Murder record as we know it. I mean, they've even got the funniest song title, as in Statutory Ape. It's pretty good. And then obviously that
It's-
ape ended up becoming a mascot, which is pretty funny. So you know.
Yeah, and they always used to get like different people to like go out and be the ape and go into the crowd. And it's like, but it was something like, if you draw the short straw, you're the one who goes out. It's like, I don't want to go out there. They beat the shit out of me.
Shit out of me. Yeah, exactly. But it was mainly always their tour manager or something, wasn't it? That went out.
Yeah, that's right.
I forgot his name now though. But yeah, he was usually the ape all the time.
Yeah, he's doing a great service.
It's pretty good. I mean, there's even a song on here called Dave Goes to Hollywood. So
yeah. I mean, I don't know the backstory of that, but it's certainly
no. But I mean, it's just like it's not what you'd expect from a death metal band.
No, but I mean, at
Or
this
something
point,
off an album called Miasma.
But this too was where they kind of changed the way they presented themselves to people en masse. So I think on Unhallowed, they were still trying, kids trying to be metal, you know what I mean? Like they were like, we want to be a metal band, we want to, headbang in our videos and be a death metal band. And like I've heard interviews with them where they basically said, we don't feel like that. We're a bunch of fucking goofs. That doesn't feel like a proper representation of us. And so they started in their music videos being complete fucking goofs in all their press releases. They'd just be like
doing dumb shit.
Yeah, and I tell you, man, like, and I can speak from experience here.
It worked. I mean, Trevor said that at the beginning he just wanted to fool everyone, and then afterwards he'd do the shit that he wanted to do, which was just be dumb and have fun being dumb. Instead of every single one of your band promos looking like everyone else is having your hair over like this and just
crossed arm, whereas with them they'd be like having pillow fights and shit. Like it was.
There was one guy punching the other one in the face.
She's getting in on the
Make
pillow
yourself
fight.
Look like an idiot, honestly. Right?
Be nice to your mother. Be nice to your mother.
I'm not. I am being nice. I'm telling her that she should stop because otherwise she'll end up looking like an idiot. I'm giving her advice.
Oh well, no. I think she's clowning on you, mate. I think you're the one coming out looking worse here. but yeah, like back when they first sort of emerged, like with that kind of like the way of presenting themselves, like not to my knowledge, really, there wasn't any other band within their kind of circle who kind of had that thing about them. And I think at first, honestly, like as dumb as it seems now, like that was part of the reason why I think a lot of like the old guard of the metalheads were kind of like critical of them. It was like, who the fuck are these jerk offs with the like goofing around with their fucking haircuts? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because the way they look, having fun and not having fucking shoulder length hair, you fucking posers. Like, legitimately, I think that really did contribute towards people going, oh, this isn't a real metal band or whatever. And as dumb as it is. But anyway, on to the music on Miasma. Yeah, to me, this is where we first see like the very specific energy that I think the Black Dahlia Murder has. And it's the thing which to me makes them, when I need some Black Dahlia Murder, I need them like crack in my veins. It's that energy. It's like, it almost sounds excited. Like, do you know what I mean when I say that? Like the Black Dahlia Murder, they sound, the music, it's as opposed to sounding like fucking powerful or heavy the Black Dahlia Murder sounds like it's just downed like about 20 sugary drinks and it's just going, there's a certain excitability.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, even Trevor's vocals sound like they're fucking, like he's a fucking crack whore or some shit, you know?
Yeah, precisely. There's like, it sounds super amped up and excitable. Like you, well, we were sort of talking to each other about the records. You actually said like, one of the few things you like about the Black Dahlia Murder is they're a band that you can listen to an album when you get up in the morning, and I immediately knew what you meant. It's like they are like
I was saying that as in like it was their shorter albums aside from one. Why did you guys have to make it longer? But no, I was saying that as in their shorter albums because obviously I don't have much time when I get up in the morning because I have to get up and leave.
Yeah, right.
But then after you said, oh yeah, no, I get what you mean. The energy's perfect. I was like, oh yeah, that's also a thing. Whenever I listen to them in the morning, it gets me moving.
Yeah, because
quicker than I normally would.
Because, like, for example, this is just me pulling an example out of the hat. Like that CPP, right? I fucking love that CPP, and I love disgusting, horrible death doom. But if I listen to that in the morning,
that would keep me in bed.
Yeah, no, it makes me want to move along at a trudge. I'm just like that doesn't really like go well with needing to get the fuck up and give yourself motivation to get on with your day, because that is like, it's disgusting murder everything music. Whereas the Black Dahlia Murder, yeah, they have that energy. But yeah, they also started writing some really catchy shit on this album as well. Wait a minute, my phone.
I know there's like, I know we talk the riff in Miasma, but there's another one that goes like,
oh yeah,
that one's just like
that one's
so fucking catchy. That one gets stuck in my head all the time.
man,
and then obviously the intro riff is insanely good.
Yeah, mate. Fucking. I'm honestly like, I'm charming into flies. I think is just like yeah. Like I'm not gonna lie. I do slightly prefer the front end of this album to the back end. I don't know if that's just me, but which isn't to say the back end doesn't have good ones, because yeah, obviously Miasma's the last.
Yeah,
track.
no, I get what you mean, but I always like have to go to the back end just so as I can hear Miasma. You know.
Yeah, Miasma is fucking
that's my
sick.
favorite on the album. That's my favorite on the album, just because of that riff.
It is fucking dope. And to be honest with you, like this band, like you want to talk about things that they have like long standing through their whole career. They start their album off with Atmospherics, and they also always end it on a fucking epic, on something epic. Like every fucking time, the last track is an epic. Like every time. Like I love it, because that's one like cliche that does. I mean, that's a very metal thing again, isn't it? But that's something which I'm always down for. Like, yeah, make your last song like a big fuck off epic.
Yeah.
Like, I love that.
So that wants me to get me more, like, will make me listen to more of what you're gonna do.
Yeah, but it's more like the last. This is like the last hurrah. Like, we've reached the end of the album. We're fucking going out with a bang. We're going off on a huge one. It's like really make like go in, leave that lasting impression. And yeah, Miasma is a brilliant fucking example of that. But yeah, this is. Well, to be honest, I think they went on to write catchier, because I think they got really good at the catchy element of their sound later on. But this is the one where they first. This is where they first nail that energy to me. Like this has that specific way they blast, and the specific
and also
way they
having
riff.
those triplet riffs and combining them with like the really tremolo pick riffs all the time.
Yes, exactly. Plus, I mean, Trev's vocal attack becomes that he starts doing that constant thing where he's just always going and going and going. Like,
where he's just never stopping, and you only know that he's gonna stop when he does a low, and that's the end of that. Or if not, he starts on a low.
Yeah, exactly.
Obnoxiously, really fucking high vocal.
Yeah, I fucking love Trev's vocals, man. Like I've over the years I've gotten more into high pitched vocals. I used to be more into, when I was like a fucking teenager, I was just like, give me gutturals all the time, and I still love a fucking disgusting guttural. But these days, man, I like something that cuts through. That's like in metal, like something that just where that high scream just cuts through, and his voice is just so distinctive. He's got such a like just the tone of his voice. There aren't really many people that sound like him, and the only people I know who do sound like him, I'm pretty sure.
It almost sounds like he doesn't really know what he's doing, and he's kind of just like jokingly doing this high scream, because to me it just sounds so obnoxious. Especially on the Miasma album, he started making it sound like he actually was trying to do vocals instead of just all the fucking time,
Yeah, like
that's generally how it sounds on Miasma in the first record. But there's just something about that tells you, like, yeah, these guys are just having fun and doing whatever the fuck they want. And it sounds sick, I'm not gonna complain. It makes me want to move, and it has character. It's different.
Absolutely.
He says it was inspired by Jeff Walker of Carcass, and his high vocals are weird, and everyone thinks they can't tell whether he's taking the mick or not, especially being British. I mean, we just take the piss out of ourselves all the time, especially on the Recapitulation album. That just sounded wacky as fuck.
Yeah, it does. That I mean, it's just that's really silly. Like, there's points of that where it's just like, well, that just sounds like cartoonish.
I remember the intro to Burnt to a Crisp. That's always the one that I think of whenever I think Jeff Walker's silly vocals.
Yeah, yeah, no, like there's a whole gang of stuff throughout that record, which is just like, It's cartoonish. That's how I look at it. It's like cartoonishly over the top, violent kind of thing. But I love that, you know what I mean? Because really, like a lot of death metal is cartoonish over the top violence. That's why we like it. That's why we like it. But yeah, Miasma for me.
That is why we like it.
Yeah, Miasma, the
Very good
beginning,
album.
the true beginning of the Black Dahlia Murder to me. But my first exposure to this band was the next record, which is Nocturnal, which was released in 2007. Now,
and everyone gushed the fuck out over this one.
Yeah, no, this was where I think like this album really, I don't know what it is about, like I don't know exactly why this was the case, but this was the one where they really like permeated the general consciousness of the metal like mainstream, not quite mainstream, but like you started hearing about them more often. They started getting a real push on this record. I don't know if they've always been signed to Metal Blade, haven't they?
Yeah.
I'm quite sure they've always been on Metal Blade.
Signed to Metal Blade when it's released on Hello.
Yeah, they probably do now. I don't think they're.
I'm pretty sure they were, because it was kind of like the same situation as Cannibal Corpse, where their first album was on Metal Blade.
Yeah, no, I think they have always been on Metal Blade. So, but yeah, so it wasn't like a record label change or a distro change or anything like that. But it just seemed as though I think the metal press really started picking up on them there. But yeah, what to me strikes me as different.
I guess it's because they were so polarizing.
Well,
because it was like either you thought they were shit or you really enjoyed them.
Yeah, and this to me felt like them kind of going, well, looking back it does anyway. So up to this point, you know, they wrongly get called a deathcore band, which is just like, you know, they're not. They weren't even a metalcore band beyond the first EP.
I understand the metalcore like idea, but deathcore I don't get it, because they just don't have those sections where it's just chug and the drums for like 30 seconds.
They are definitely, they have never been a deathcore band. But
it's just because they have the death metal sound, and because deathcore was a new thing back then.
And it's also because of a lot of bands that they never had a problem with touring with deathcore bands. Like they you know what I mean? Whereas like a lot of bands back then would be like, you know, who wanted to, no, we want to be seen as a metal band. We don't tour with deathcore bands. Because at that point, deathcore in particular was seen as a really dirty word. Like no one wanted to be associated with deathcore. Like all of the bands who were clearly playing deathcore were like, no, man, we're modern death metal, even though it was obviously, it was a really dirty word. Like no one wanted to be called it. But so a lot of these bands, they just wouldn't tour on like deathcore like packages or with deathcore bands. But Black Dahlia Murder never gave a shit. Like you would see them like on the fucking Summer Slaughter tour with like Carnifex and Whitechapel and shit. Like they would play fucking anywhere. You know what I mean? Like they didn't care. So, you know, because they were surrounded by a lot of those bands, like, people just call them a deathcore band, but even though they weren't. But what they started to do on this album, I think, was they kind of went, well, we're an actual metal band. We like fucking metal. You all tell us we're not real metal.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you on about? Now fuck off. We're gonna write.
Yeah,
we're gonna go.
Even after this album, later on, they fucking played at Warp Tour.
Yeah, no, they don't give a fuck. They will play anywhere. They do not care. And I've always had so much respect for that, because to me, like, you should if you can get like a bunch of kids who aren't even usually into like straight up metal into your stuff, fucking fantastic. Play for everybody, you know, get anyone involved. It's the same thing as like Napalm Death have played Glastonbury like 4 times. They don't, you know, their whole thing was, we'll play anywhere. That doesn't matter. People don't like us. That's fine. We don't give a shit. Like that to me suggests a resilience.
Napalm Death were gonna play in like in one like royal area or something one day. I forgot what it was, but they were going to play in some like prestigious place, but they just couldn't because of like chandeliers and stuff, and the noise would knock them down, and they didn't want to be they didn't want to get fucked by being sued because they broke down the chandeliers because of how much vibration was coming from all the noise. But otherwise they would have played like, I forgot what place it was, but I know it's something to do with like royalty or bourgeoisie in England.
Yeah, but like chandeliers being shaken off of walls by grindcore is like, that's like symbolic. That's like that's symbolic. Where we're bringing down,
especially by a grindcore band, especially by a grindcore band who's so much about politics and
Exactly.
fucking
Napalm
fantasy.
Death bringing down chandeliers. That's poetry. Like, that's something which would be written about in
Unfortunately,
history.
it didn't happen.
Yeah, it's a shame, but I understand. But yeah, they would play to anybody, and so they kind of got considered. They got lumped in with deathcore because obviously they came up. They obviously also came to prominence at the same time that was all kicking off at that point. Like on MySpace, deathcore was the thing. Like, and I know that because I was fucking there as like a 14-year-old, and I was well into it. But yeah. They on this record, they really, I think, even from the artwork to me is the first time that we get like that artwork's fucking brilliant. Like it's so
the true Black Dahlia artwork. Where it's a monument.
So the first two are like I have no problem in saying I think the first two album covers are really quite fucking weak. There's a reason I didn't mention them. They're just like. Like Unhallowed is seriously like absolute. There's nothing to comment on, and like Miasma's kind of like strange almost compared to the rest of them.
It gives the like limelight to the almost black metal sections that can be heard like with the tremolo picking.
Yeah, but like this is the Nocturnal. It has that, it looks super fucking gothic. It has that kind of grandeur. I love that cover so much. But even then you start looking at the music, it feels as though all the performances on Nocturnal are just like ramped the fuck up. And also like their songwriting here is where they started to write legitimately catchy material. Like, and I don't know if that's my bias.
And the riffs are just insane.
So
the fucking
go on.
Just everything went black. That riff, I love the riff and that. I was like, oh yeah, shit, I'm gonna learn that riff because it sounds so sick. And to me, it was kind of like, oh yeah, it'll be like a Trivium riff or something. No, these guys are all over the fucking fretboard. It's everywhere, and you're never just howling down one note when you're doing those muted chugs. It's just all over the fucking place. And it's insanely difficult to do.
Yeah, no.
Fuck that riff, man.
To me, I think they seriously stepped up here, like in terms of technical proficiency and songwriting.
Oh
like,
yeah, they got a new drummer as well, didn't they? On this one.
Yeah, what was he called? Ryan Smith? Was he called
Shannon
Nash?
Ryan Smith?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm terrible.
Shannon later.
Yeah, but I know they got a new drummer on this because the drums on this fucking record are such a step up. Like it's fucking ridiculous. Like they get on a death metal assault.
What is it? Fucking Death Master Fine already.
Oh,
another good riff,
mate,
another great song.
Oh, Death Master Fine is
great vocals.
One of my actual favorite.
Everything's good on the album.
But one of my actual favorite fucking Black Dahlia songs still is Death Master Vine. The best part is the like that little like trem bit in the middle where it like goes into halftime, like where it goes like super like atmospheric. It just fucking kills me. But yeah,
that's what the part I was just about to talk about, where it's like the chorus where it was I could never let you go, my darling cotton blue. That part.
Oh, it's so good.
And I was about to talk about the drums on that one. Because he's doing the double bass where it's going da 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 da, and then all of a sudden he adds in fucking what's it called, double strokes. So it goes da 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 da.
Yeah, it's
the bass, and it's just so good with that fucking like halftime tremolo big riff. It's so good.
Honestly, it's ridiculous, and that they also started to really bring in like do the thing which I love them for, which is combine like Swedish melodic death metal with like a heavier sort of a death metal approach in how it's, and like particularly percussively. Like
because is it Virally Yours? The intro riff to that one's very chunky.
How does it go again? Oh yeah.
Or is that I think it's Virally Yours, or if not, it's I Worship Only What You Bleed. I don't really remember. It's one of the other, but that fucking riff is chunky.
I always think of Climactic Degradation with just the classic 4 snare hit. I
forgot that was a song on here actually. You know what? I knew all the names of the songs on this album except Climactic Degradation. I
and
think
it's
I
one.
just didn't know that was a song.
It's one of the best ones, man. Like, man, this. I mean,
it's hard to get a best one on here because all of them are good.
Yeah, they are. I mean, my background with this record though is that like this is the most nostalgic one for me because I got into this. I think probably a year after it was released. Like I just sort of I'd heard a bit of bits and pieces about Black Dahlia, and I remember coming across What a Horrible Night to Have a Curse on YouTube and just being like,
which is the most popular song.
Yeah, and I mean, like that was definitely their breakout, like for sure. Like, and I just remember, it was just, mate, it's that fucking riff in it, like, you know what I mean?
Which one?
Yeah,
okay,
but yeah, to be fair, like that chorus is also catchy as shit. Like the song is that's what I mean. This is to me is where unholy inversion of hope twisted the faith of the meek into hate. You know what I mean? And it's just
meek into hate.
I
like the
so
part
catchy.
where he says like werewolves cry out for flesh, because on the word flesh he does 2 layered vocals.
Flesh, yeah, it is great. But mate,
there's another one behind it. And I mean the music video for that one's just pure brilliance.
Oh god, it's like that takes me back.
I always see them when they're like in the telephone booth, because they were in England when they recorded it. When they were
they are, aren't they?
And the 2 guitarists in the telephone booth, and I always just see Bart like this in my head whenever I think of it. And then when Shannon's sliding down the fucking stairs and he almost eats shit because he fucking falls over. It's so funny.
There's like footage of them, which I think they used more of it in one of the DVDs, but there's footage of them like moshing in like a club, just a regular normie club.
There is one of those in What Horrible Night to Have a Curse, where Brian goes up to Trevor and just goes poof, like that to his drink. It is in the video of What Horrible Night to Curse, to Have a Curse, and Brian goes up to Trevor and like starts moshing him and knocks Trevor's drink out of his hand, so he just goes and gives him the drink and fucks off.
Always, it's so funny, and they black out like the faces of the people, like people around them, and they're all just like looking at them and looking around like, what the fuck?
What the fuck's going on over here?
So fucking jokes. Yeah, no, good, many a good memory.
And then obviously at the end when they get jumped by the statutory ape.
But this is what I mean, man.
Really
They put themselves forward as this fun party band in a scene full of, grim dudes who wanted to play heavy music. It's like, no, we want to play rages and party, which like now, thankfully, really, like fucking thank God, like now that's like, yeah, of course, we're here to have fun. But back then, like, it was like, we want to be the heaviest band ever and we want to fucking be so metal. And
there's definitely like an influence on the newer bands, especially Sang with Cigar Bog being probably one of the main modern bands.
Yeah, definitely.
Their songs are dumb, like out of blue, and they're just having fun. Their music videos are dumb, but they're just having fun. And I mean, they still have the element of writing really chunky riffs and being really fucking heavy, but
oh yeah, no, they take the music completely seriously. Like that's the thing which I've always loved.
Aside from the lyrics.
Yeah, they've taken the music completely seriously. They're not fucking around with the craft of writing the music, but they're not pretending to be fucking like God hating like fucking spawns of Satan or whatever. They're just dudes having a good old laugh. But yeah, that I'm so glad that has proceeded. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. This is still it's not that big of a spoiler because like I said, like the top 4 of my albums is just impossible to choose from, but this is still one of my favorites of theirs. Like I have such a nostalgic connection to this one.
It's the common Black Dahlia Murder like favorite pick.
It is, but for very good reason. Like it's fucking brilliant. It is fucking brilliant, and I think like they actually managed to generate a lot of hype off of this one, which is why I think the next album
went untalked about.
Well, Deflorate, which came out in 2009. Untalked about isn't the word. I do remember there just being a general thing of like, oh, it's not as good. Which spoilers. I mean, I definitely don't think it's as good as Nocturnal, right? Like it really isn't. But I think an important
It's
thing
not
that's
bad.
happened, dude, like this album has its fucking moments, and they do fucking go in hard with that energy. I feel as though, whereas they kind of on the previous album went, we're going to go heavier, we're going to go more metal, but we're going to keep that energy. On this one, it was sort of like they really let that energy just come out more. Maybe at the expense of catchiness a little bit, because I've got to say, I don't think this is quite as memorable song for song.
I don't really remember much.
No,
I only remember Necropolis because that's like the only song that I listened to off this album. And it's
and
once
again, another
music
fucking
video.
legendary music video. You know, got
Playing bowling.
Make
I
you
love it.
want to grab a swing bowl and fucking chuck down some alleys and shit.
They're all there showing off how they got to go bowling, and Brian's down in the corner just fucking fingering the bowling ball.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And then at the end, the ape throws himself into the bowling pins. That's pretty funny.
I wonder.
And they have this like stage above the bowling alley, don't they? They have like a stage that was made above the bowling alley, and Trevor's just there fucking pumping it out.
Such a fucking good music video.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I do feel as though at the time that music video was the main talking point of the record, and it did feel as though the rest of the album, in many ways, just didn't. I wouldn't. Yeah, it wasn't untalked about, but there was a general feeling like, oh, bit of a disappointment, to be honest. Which, like, you know, man, for me, there's some fun. To me, there's some brilliant fucking stuff on here, mate. A selection unnatural into denounced. A selection
Christ
unnatural.
Deformed.
Christ Deformed is fucking brilliant. Christ Deformed
really
super sick.
I Will Return.
Right, so we've been talking about epic last tracks. One of the best fucking ones, like literally one of the best ones in their discography is I Will Return. That song is fucking epic, mate. Like, I mean, you know me, I do love me a sort of a sweeping epic metal riff, and that the beginning one, the like that was fucking brilliant. Like it makes you want to put my fist up and go, yes. You will
just do the Trevor stage present where it's just like randomly fist pumping.
Oh mate, come on! You know, like it has that energy. I fucking love I Will Return. I think that is definitely my favorite thing off this album. I think that they really fucking nailed it with that one. Such a fucking good track.
Also, actually, guitarist change here as well, wasn't there?
That's right. Yeah.
The other guy left, but I forgot the other guy's name now. However, they did get Ryan Knight on for this album, and then a few albums after this. He was a very good lead player. His fucking lead sounded so good.
Yeah,
unfortunately, he was a bit of a weird man. He said the N-word a lot.
Yeah, no, lots of reports of that dude being a bit hard to work with in different accounts.
Yeah, I remember on the For Them All DVD. Sorry, it sounds bad in English. The American version, For Them All, as they say, because they're weird, but it just sounds weird when you say it in English.
Yeah.
that DVD fucking hilarious. The 3D parts, which unfortunately I didn't get to watch in 3D because I don't have 3D glasses, and I watched it just on YouTube. There's a part where they're obviously interviewing the members about Ryan, and then there's just Trevor just sat there like this. I can't tell if he's hazed or he's just completely lying, because it's like, yeah, Ryan's a really funny guy. He makes us laugh a lot and stuff. It's like, yeah, he makes you laugh so much that you barely move when you talk about him. I can't tell whether you're high on weed, dude, or you're just like
funny guy.
Yeah, he genuinely has no facial expression.
Great dude. Yeah. I'm not quite getting like the genuine expression from that, but yeah. And still, his contribution to the band is definitely there, and I mean, he
made some good leads, he made some fucking good riffs.
He absolutely fucking did.
Brian Esbach is the riff writer of the band, though, so yeah. Brian Esbach is my heart and soul.
We will get to it. Oh, we will. But yeah.
What do you mean? He's been here the entire time. It's him and Trevor, the original ones.
My fucking brain, man. You know how good I am with these fucking. I literally, I've forgotten
also,
people's names I've known for years.
No, it wasn't this album. Ignore me. I was about to say something dumb.
All right. But yeah, Deflorate. good album. Like not a fantastic album, but a good album.
But good, because there's nothing bad in this discography.
No. But then obviously it's like, so I think Death Ray did underperform, and the general like sort of feel around it was like a little bit off. Like people were just a bit like, it's not bad, but like, you know, it's not great. And I remember hearing a thing in an interview with Trevor. He sort of said, you know, we sort of saw that it didn't do as well and people weren't quite as up on it. So we thought we would change it up and do something a little bit different. And in 2011's Ritual, I think they did do something really quite different.
Yeah, they did do something different. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The main track that stands out to me as being different is on Stirring Seas' Salted Blood, because that riff is like trudging through, and it genuinely sounds like you're on a sea of stirring salted blood.
Yeah, so I'm quite glad you started there, actually, because this is where they really started to bring in other influences into the whereas before, like they kind of established a melodic death metal sound with kind of like a heavier percussive approach. Like here, like that is like mate, on Caesar song, like that's a fucking just a straight up death metal song, right? Like that's like a
there's like a
death metal track,
an almost like death grind, fucking what's it called? Thrash song on here that lasts like 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah,
which is Den of the Picarist. I love that song. It's so good.
Yeah, no, it's
that
like
was definitely another change, because they usually write like normal like length songs, but this one was like 1 minute 30. We're in, we're out. And it just didn't need to be any
longer. It does
longer.
almost have like a grindy kind of a thing going on with that, doesn't it? In fact, I'm not sure they've ever written another song quite like that. You know what I mean?
No, they haven't.
But like even then, like they still do use Load Tricks, and like the main single from this album, I think it was the main single, Moonlight Equilibrium. I mean, fuck me, that's one of their catchiest tunes, man. Like that chorus is fucking glorious. Like that little like, oh, it's fucking beautiful. Plus another really fun video. Lots of like Danes being hunted by werewolves.
I'm disappointed.
Why?
Yeah. I just got, because I mentioned the Hell yesterday for the new song, Back to It. And they mentioned me in their story, and I was expecting them to say like "shut up, you cunt" or something like that, but they just didn't say anything. They just mentioned me in their story.
Oh, you did the man. So
I thought they were gonna be funny.
Oh no, man. Well, just in case anyone doesn't know quickly, there's a band called The Hell who we really like, who we've talked about on this podcast before. And they're a funny bunch, and he basically hoped that they would insult him over social media, because that's what they do to everyone. But no, they just put you up in their story, which is, you boring bastards. See, I'm provoking them now. I'm hoping that they come at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. All right. Yeah. We need to get them on this podcast, because, like I said, all they're gonna do is call us cunts for 4 minutes, and we're gonna absolutely love it. So come on, Blacklist, get on the podcast.
Precisely. Let's milk you for views, you fucking dickhead. You know what I mean? So anyway, nice little detour. But back on the main course. Yeah. Moonlight Equilibrium, fucking so catchy. Carbonized in Cruciform is a fucking tune, man. I love that fucking
Malenchantments of a Necrosphere. That one's good.
What a fucking song title as well. You know what I mean? Like that's what I like to see. Like, in fact, I think this might be one of their strongest collections of song titles. Like, Carbonizer Cruciform sounds sick. Like, The Great Burning Nullifier. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just sounds.
Am I the one that just can't read? I just cannot read. I always read that as The Great Burning Nilfa. So. No.
Nilfa. What is a Nilfa?
Quite a few. I have no idea. No fucking clue.
a Nilfa to me sounds like a really small, pathetic space alien. Like it's like when you're cleaning out your shit,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh god, what this Nilfer?
Oh,
How
fuck,
the
it's
fuck
a
did this
Nilfer.
Nilfer get in the back of my shit? And it's
Get
like
rid
a
of
little
it.
like
Just punch
slimy
it out
creature
of the
just goes,
fucking shit.
oh god, put that Nilfer out of his fucking misery. He's fucked.
Misery.
Look at him. Oh, the Nilfers are a
Yeah.
strange race of
Talk about
creatures.
song titles. Talking about song titles. We got On Stirring Seas of Salt and Blood. That was salted. That song title was great to me.
Yeah, no, on Stirring Seas of Salted Blood, definitely a winner of it. Just a winner of a track in all elements, to be honest, because you are right.
Yeah.
That was definitely the first time I heard them do like a sort of a slightly more mid-paced, heavy, like straight up death metal thing. And I think they've proven themselves to be so good at that over the years.
They're pretty much good at anything they try and do on the albums.
Yeah, no, the blackened sections are fucking brilliant. You know what I mean? Like they've even proven. I'd love for them
later
to
on. They get really neoclassical.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they've got the whole fucking thing in the bag. But yeah, Ritual. I think still that might be the most varied album from track to track. Like, because usually they kind of stick to a main sort of a thing and find different ways to attack it. Whereas that like has loads of different vibes going on. So for me, it's again. That's another one of my favorites, but I'm going to be saying that about 5 of these. So, you know what I mean? But it really is. Like, but for its own reason, like, I love how varied it is. It stands out to me. You said before you're not a massive fan of the cover art.
No, but then afterwards, I don't know why. When we were talking about that, I didn't. Did you say anything about it being only post miasma?
No, I don't think so. Oh yeah.
No, because then afterwards I realized did you say it was only about post miasma? Because if it's post miasma, then it's probably my least favorite album cover post miasma.
Yeah. No, I mean I do get that. No, I mean
I like it. There's no bad album cover, and I can see why you don't like the other one that I quite like because it's pretty generic looking, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, no, I mean it's you know I really like it. It's got that kind of collagey.
It's
kind
a
of
mule kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I like it. And while we didn't talk about the fucking cover for Deflorate, because I'll tell you one thing. We go all over the place in this podcast.
That is like in your fucking face. Yeah,
that was another way they managed to make themselves stand out at the time, because it's like, you know, usually when you think of metal album covers, you think of very monochrome, like desaturated color schemes, you know, lots of black, lots of red, lots of darkness. Whereas the album cover for Deflorate is just like, there's so much contrast. It's such a bright,
a bit fucking weird.
I fucking love that album.
Chunky Thing on Throne. Yeah, I really like it. Chunky Thing on Throne, just zapping some people.
Yeah, and like a bunch of hooded dudes standing in. But I love that color palette is just stands out to me. I think it looks fucking wicked. And like, yeah, Chunky Thing on Throne, ritualistically zapping man in front of.
I thought that was like fences across. I didn't realize those were hooded people.
Did you not? Oh yeah. Well now you know. Now you've seen it. You know what I mean? Yeah. No. That's what I like about metal album covers, though. It's got that level of detail. But yeah, I fucking love.
Also, there's 2 moons.
Oh yeah, there is, isn't there? Yeah. I didn't fucking notice the one in the. Fucking.
I've only just noticed it. I'm just analysing it right here, right now. Either way, we're talking about Ritual.
But yeah, the Deflorate cover.
We finished talking about Ritual.
I love the Ritual album cover too, and I think Ritual is one of their best albums. I'm going to be saying that a few more times. I love it. I actually fucking love it. But
I love it. It's just that it's very hard to rank these things.
Yeah, right. But Ritual's well good. And again, another 2 years. Not only are they consistent in quality, they've just been banging out albums every single 2 years.
Yeah,
every single 2 years, just bang.
This is the one where I was trying to say it, where this one has a new drummer.
Yes.
Shannon Lucas has wanted to leave ever since the other guitarist wanted to leave, but he didn't want to leave at the same time as the guitarist. Now he's left, and we got that really short blonde-haired dude who was like 20 at the time.
Yeah,
Jesus,
and he's a fucking freak on drums. He is an absolute freak.
What the fuck is wrong with that man? Yeah, he's really fucking good at what he does.
Yeah, he like absolute fucking monster. And yeah, we get Everblack, 2013's Everblack, and man, I don't know if I'm biased in liking Black Dahlia albums.
Alan Cassidy. That was his name.
That's his name. Yeah, no, Alan Cassidy is a fucking wrong'un on the drums. The guy is so talented. Like he's such a, and yeah, he definitely adds a lot to this. As soon as you fucking get that shot, he's the way he blasts. He's fucking like he has that perfect mixture of being frantic and also controlled, which I like in a metal drummer. To me, that's like the best of both worlds. And he's fucking brilliant. But man, oh man, oh man. I don't think this album...
There's a good few songs.
I straight up do not think this album gets talked about anywhere near enough.
No. I don't even know if many of these songs are played live. Goat of Departure, probably. In Hell Is Where She Waits For Me. But the rest of them, like...
in Hell Is
There's not even a fucking tab. There's not even a fucking tab for Phantom Limb Masturbation.
Oh my god! Right. Okay. So this is
like riff.
Yeah. No. That is a fucking serious riff.
And just the intro where it just starts out with him screaming. It started as a child, and it comes in on when it says child. It's like.
Yeah, no,
so good.
That is a fat riff. It's fat, but
it's so junky.
They, to me, like that thing which I'd said earlier about like them kind of embodying this like sort of melodic death metal with a death metal heaviness. They've done other things better on other albums, but to me, Everblack is still, in my opinion, the best representation of that particular combination. Because to me, it's like there's so much that is so fucking catchy on this album, right? Like Blood Mine. Are you?
Yeah, you got the chorus "Erect in Hatred" by Vines of Whore.
Fucking
Vines of Whore. Sorry,
Vines of Hatred. Catchy as shit. Into the Everblack. Catchy as shit. Their Beloved Absentee. Yeah. Catchy as shit. Map of Scars. What a way
is it Into the Everblack that has the weird creepy sample beforehand where it's like old recording, like an old sound recording.
I'm not sure. I've got, but Into the Everblack is the one with like it's another one of like the real like death metal riffs. Yeah, I'm not sure now, but yeah, I think this album is like it's funny because like you know I do like frequent a lot of like Black Dahlia Murder conversation on the internet, and I just don't think this one gets talked about as one of their best. And I understand that we've been saying this now about different albums for things, and this is important for Black Dahlia Murder.
It's not Into the Everblack.
Which one were you thinking of?
No, I was only thinking of the sample. I knew what the song sounded like. I was only thinking of the sample.
Yeah.
No, the one that has the sample beforehand is Their Beloved Absentee.
Oh yeah, that's the one where it's like it sounds like it's like a church choir, isn't it? And they're singing about Jesus because obviously the song's about the fact that they all love Jesus and he's not about because he's not real. Yeah, it's a good old fashioned death metal. Fuck you.
Yeah. Also, this one's like kind of like the song like what's the word? Fuck. The lyrics that Trevor writes on this one, like it's never consistent. It's always just random shit. Because
bit more freeform.
Raped in Hatred by Vines of Thorn. Yeah, that one's based off of Evil Dead by the molesting tree from Evil Dead.
Yeah, that's right.
Pretty funny. Phantom Limb Masturbation's fucked because that's the the one where he wants to be, as you said, I'll quote you. Dude just loves being a limbless torso.
Yeah, it's his fetish to be amputated. So he says he starts as a child.
Yeah, and I looked up what phantom limb is, and apparently phantom limb is when you have like an amputation. Some people who are amputees still feel like they have that limb at sometimes.
Yeah, you still feel like you can. Why can't I grab this thing?
I feel like I have an arm, but there is no arm. Yeah.
Yeah.
You still feel like you have the nerves there.
So you're using your phantom
So it's
limb
kind of
to
like,
jack yourself off.
yeah, to jack yourself off, yeah. Then you got, I'm pretty sure it's Blood Mine, which is the one where I thought that they were shouting out the word tits.
I mean, you never know; they might be. Like I haven't looked up the lyrics.
No, it wasn't. It was something else. But it, or if not, no, it's Go Departure. Sorry, Go Departure. That's the one where they have the chanting vocals.
Oh yeah.
But
No, I know what you mean.
yeah,
yeah.
it really sounded like tits to me, but it's something else.
It does sound. That actually does sound a bit like tits. Fantastic, but yeah, I just think. I think this album is full of legitimate 10 out of 10 tracks. Like I just this was the moment where
Flawless.
I went from a black
Chef's kiss.
This album to me was probably the moment I went from being like well, I love Nocturnal, and then it took me a few years to get into Death for 8, and it took me a little bit to get into Ritual. I was like, oh, Ritual's really cool. And when they released Everblack, this was the moment where they became one of my actual all-time favorite bands. Was on Everblack. I was just like, mate, this band are fucking unbelievable. Yeah, what a fucking record. Very, very cool album cover as well. Looks like a tarantula coming out of a fucking of a spiraling.
Yeah,
vortex.
what it reminds me, I told you this beforehand. There's a place in Skyrim, if you get the Dawnguard DLC, called the Sulcan, and that looks exactly like the Sulcan. There's just masses of graves, because the Sulcan is I don't know how much you play the Skyrim, and if you know what the soul gems
not
are.
mad amounts.
They're fucking, yeah. They're thing called soul gems, and basically whenever you kill something, the soul is like small enough or big enough, it gets into the soul gem, and then obviously you can use it to enchant stuff. But where they're put when they are like captured in the soul gems, they're put into the soul care, which it's represented so good in the game, because it's just this long winding, just like, it's so fucking horrible to be in there, because like it drags on forever. And that album cover looks exactly like the Soul Cane, because everything is like purple energy coming out of places with just graves riddled everywhere, fucking like misty black oil like skeletons trying to kill you. It's fucking crazy.
It's like a big netherworld sort of energy. It's like it's kind of has that. Yeah, absolutely. I haven't played that part.
And the other Black album cover looks exactly like that. So to me, it tells me that this is a wretched album, and yeah.
It is. It's a wretched album, but it's also catchy. To me, if you, I think to me, Everblack might be their catchiest record, like song for song. Like there are other records which I think do other things better, but I do love.
When that chorus to Rate and Hatred has been stuck in my head for ages.
Mate, for me, the riff in Blood Mine, like the whole of In Hell is Where She Waits for Me, like there's just
the whole of Phantom Limb.
Yeah, mate, it's the whole thing is just stupidly fucking catchy. I love it. Great fucking record.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Lovely. Yeah, great stuff. So now we move again another 2-year period onto Abysmal. So I'll let you take the reins on this one a little bit. What makes Abysmal different from its predecessor and different in the overall scheme of the Black Dahlia Murder discography?
I mean, when I think Abysmal, I immediately think of Threaten Level number 3. That's like the song on here to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's like uber neoclassical, just from the intro riff.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
So, from what I remember, I don't actually remember much of the album, but I do remember that I enjoyed it a lot. But it's definitely taking more of that neoclassical route that they would then further continue with when they got the new guitarist who comes in on the next album. And otherwise, it's just consistency is key when it comes to Black Dahlia Murder. So it's not totally different to anything they've done before. I'd just say there's like a whole new neoclassical element added onto there. I mean, I already talked about Threat Level number 3, but don't forget you've got Vlad, Son of the Dragon, which is a crazy good song.
Yes.
Stigiophobic, that one's really good. Receipt as well. It's a good one. Like, there's a lot of fucking bangers on here.
Man, fucking that, and again, that cannot die, which eternally is dead.
Yeah, I was just about to say that one as well. Yeah, that one is a great closer.
Continuing their streak of great closers. To me, when I think of this record, I mean, the main thing that struck me when I first heard it was that I was like, oh, they've gone faster. Like, because to me, it was sort of like the last.
Oh yeah, everything's really fast on here.
Yeah,
Alan Cassidy did not hold back on those drums.
Yeah, to me, it was like.
And also, Trevor kind of went back to being like really high as well, like not weed, but vocal wise.
That too, probably.
Yeah. But like his vocals, like they sounded way more like they make me want to make the claw all the time whenever I hear them, and it's just like,
definitely,
you know, you could just see his face being like scrunched up as he's fucking doing it, and it's like almost like a shrieking kind of vocal. On this one.
It kind of gives me a similar sort of vibe, this record, to like I mean, you can name any level of like classic metal records, which are basically deal in just constant like assault for the entire time. I mean, obviously they find ways to like do these things up, but to me it was like, whereas like Ever Black was kind of like maybe a bit more slowed down, a bit more anthemic. This was like, no, this time we're going visceral. We're going into like it's quite thrashy in parts as well. Like and yeah, that the it's just very fucking fast all over the place, very technical.
Yeah. The one that stands out to me vocally, not just because it's the word society, and that word has become synonymously joked about because of Joker, but and also the meme, and also all the fucking memes of old people making comics about how kids and adults are totally different because all we do is all girls do these days is be bisexual.
Fucking snowflake millennials.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
Yeah, I made one myself jokingly, which was when the first lockdown started to end, I went to Canterbury, and like the queue for Primark, I wasn't going there, but the queue for Primark was just insane. So I was like, everyone, Primark, no one, family, because that's the type of thing that they say, you know. But either way, getting back on track is when he says the word society. When he says the word society on fret level number 3, that's like the vocal to me, because it's like so fucking high and just not cringy and like it's cheesy, but cringy as in it's like, fuck man, that was like,
it's got that like,
it's like, yeah, it's visceral.
Yeah. I mean that's one thing I just
had a fucking punji stick plowed into my chest or something, you know.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always loved about his vocal, is that when he gets it right, like, that enunciation allows him to really do that, like where he really like enunciates something.
Yeah.
Like it almost feels as though the spit's coming out of the speaker. You know what I mean?
And also,
like, it's brilliant.
I mean, I know that right now I'm just like totally jerking off fret level number 3, but the fucking like subject matter and the way that his vocals are done, it sounds so genuine as well, doesn't it?
I do remember reading the lyrics to Threat level number 3 and just being like, oh,
what the fuck?
Okay,
and it genuinely sounds genuinely like he's a fucking pedophile. It's crazy with those vocals and stuff. And then questioning himself and being like, shit, I'm not a man anymore. And like, I'm not a person, but at the same time, because you not forgive me, I realize what I've done wrong, and I'll try not to do it again, but at the same time I probably will. It's like a whole dilemma, and you can just tell this fucking person's going crazy because of what they've done. And the music video depicts that perfectly, because it's what like the mother sees him. Yeah, brilliant. The mother sees him, the mother of the child that he abused and raped sees him, and she like fucking shoots him down. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a great fucking music video, and like it's more proof to me that like if there's shit that you want to do just in art in general, that you go, if we were to depict that like that, well, I'm not sure we could get away with that. Just animate it. you can get away with so much more when you animate stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's so many examples of that through fucking media in general. But like, yeah, I don't think that they would have been able to honestly get a pass with making that music video if it wasn't animated. Because lyrically, that is easily one of their darkest songs. Like,
Yeah, and it's like
easily.
I keep saying, it just sounds so genuine.
That's why
It's
it's
fucking
fucked.
scary.
It's one of those ones, and I know Trev as being the death metal devotee that he is, and you know he's had so many formative experiences reading death metal lyrics and going like, ugh. And he said like so many times that he wants to be that for like a new generation. You know what I mean? Like he wants people to read his lyrics and go, man, this is fucking wrong. You know what I mean? It's part of the fun of it. And like that is one of the ones where I think he really delved deep on that and just came out with, you know, the character that he creates on that song is just horrendous. You know what I mean? But again, song is fucking killer. It is. I think it is like. I always like to try and say that one of the deeper cuts is one of my favorite songs, but I think I do agree that Threat Level Number 3 is the best song here. Like I'd like
on this album.
Yeah, I don't like
but
it.
Then again, I'd still kind of count it as a deeper cut because no one talks about this album.
No, it's really weird, and like they did at the time, like it definitely got a lot of buzz. Like it kind of felt as though at this point they were still kind of on their upward trajectory almost. But yeah, at the time, like it got a lot of buzz. Like people were like, man, they really went in fucking hard on this album. Like it's just relentless, it's ruthless, it's like, you know, fucking really cool. I'm not a massive fan of that album art. I don't know why I'm not.
I'm already not a fan of it because that logo covers up stuff.
To me, it's almost just like I look at it and it just I don't know, just metal album cover, hellish imagery. Yeah. Okay, like all of the other ones.
It's pretty generic, but I kind of like it where it's that like fucking demon just like opening its mouth and inhaling every corpse and stuff like that. I kind of dig that. And then with all the I guess it's because also the front of it's like the really shitty CG mutilated corpses, because I'm into like the 2000s brutal death metal stuff. That's like every single album cover.
Yeah, that definitely is.
Just look at the fucking Putrid Pile album cover. That's like so bad. But it does have I guess because I'm so used to seeing it, it's something familiar to me.
But also, like, I do think that because I know exactly what like graphical style you're talking about when you say that, like with the sort of the 2000s grade like CGI graphics. But one thing I have always thought, like with certain record covers that kind of have that like particular like graphical style, it kind of like gives it as specific creepiness because it just looks a bit unnatural and like
it falls into the uncanny valley.
Fully, and it you just look at it, you go, like it kind of makes it feel more gross sometimes because it just doesn't feel. It feels a bit more real than if it was painted, but it feels not real enough. So you're just kind of like
real enough. Yeah,
that looks.
That's the whole premise of uncanny.
Yeah. Like I've definitely gotten serious uncanny valley from some of those shitty like 2000.
It's just like the only one that makes me laugh is the Putrid Pile one because that just looks like some shitty PS1.
Yeah, that's terrible. It's like, funny, but
that one's not because like the woman has no emotion on her face either. She's just like
it's not good, is it? It's really not good. But yeah, abysmal. Good album. Not one of my favorites.
Really enjoy the album. I know that I said I don't remember much, but I definitely really enjoyed it. When I think hard, I definitely enjoy it.
Yeah, no.
And also from like being a guitarist standpoint, like it's crazy good on guitar.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I have no doubt. Like it's definitely up there. But we move on now to 2017's Nightbringers. Now I don't know about how you feel about this, but I think the Nightbringers was a massive turning point in terms of how this band was kind of like seen.
Because they now got
the new guitarist,
fucking shreddy as fuck, but I really like the fucking guitarist as well. But I just escaped my brain. Brandon Ellis.
There you
go. Ellis.
Yeah,
dude is like so inspired by Yngwie Malmsteen, but he hasn't got the ego and just like Eddie Van Halen stuff and all that shit. So it's like he brings that neoclassical element and just goes. We might as well talk immediately about songs because Kings of the Night World. That fucking chorus of it's so fucking classical sounding, and it's like grandiose and like, yeah, it's so fucking good.
What they did manage to do here, which is even more impressive when you consider the fact that they had a new personnel member on board with them at this point, is they managed to marry kind of like the ferocity that they were they were definitely getting at on Abyssal and other stuff too. But this album definitely has moments where it goes really fast and technical, but they also managed to like start writing fucking catchy again. Like,
Catchy
to me,
another song that does that is a Catacomb Hecacomb.
Oh,
that one is like, it has the really fast parts. Also, the song, like the lyrics to it are fucking great. It's just people being eaten alive by spiders. It's like fucking.
What's not to love?
And there's like a pause part where Trevor screaming. Well, yeah, ironic.
Oh, screaming as you're slowly eaten alive. Yeah. That's one of the best moments.
And then obviously the music comes back in, and it's just even heavier than the riff was before. It's like,
yeah, that's definitely one of the best songs on the record, man. I fucking love Jars. I think Widowmaker
has great riffs. Yeah,
Widowmaker.
That first line, "You're locked in my sights." It's so good.
Widowmaker can go toe to toe with any of their album openers, man. Like I think Widowmaker.
Then Officers White, you've got Matriarch. That song's so far.
Yeah,
and that riff, and also once again, lyrics are about someone, a woman who's killing another one because of her jealousy of not being able to reproduce.
Yeah,
which
right.
Is like a good kind of thing to have. I mean, Dying Fetus kind of had that sort of song with From Womb to Waist, where they explored the thing of some women getting really fucked because they're infertile.
Yeah, it's like have you seen that?
The lyrics to Matriarch are pretty creepy.
Yeah, did I tell you about that movie Inside? Did I tell the French movie Inside? No. Oh, right. So
I think you did. So you didn't tell me much. You just said it was weird.
Yeah, no. So Inside has a similar kind of a thing going through it. I'm gonna, as you haven't watched it, and also for anyone that might be watching this, that if you like your horror movies to be kind of assaults on the senses and extremely violent, watch Inside. But that, whenever I hear about anything to do with like that particular thing, like women becoming like murderously jealous of other women who can like have children, I always think of that movie, and it's one of the most violent things I've ever seen. I'm just gonna leave it at that. If you, it's a recommend, but not that was one of the ones where I'm like, if you aren't good with brutal violence, no. It's a nasty bastard.
I'm all right with it, so it's good.
Yeah, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. But yeah, make sure I'm supposed to, because all well and good. But if we're talking about big singles, title track, mate. If you
Nightbringers is a bit of a fucking song.
If you put a gun to my head and you said to me, right, you've got to name your favorite metal riff of the 2010s, right? Like legit, and like so, you've got 5 fucking seconds. I think I just have to say Nightbringers. Like that is not just of this band, like literally of any band of the 2010s. I think that riff is
a big statement.
It feels like I listen to that and I go, that is fucking iconic. Not in terms of like the fact that it isn't that well known. I listen to it and I'm like, that feels to me like an all-time great riff. It's got everything. Like I heard that riff twice and I knew I was going to remember it for the rest of my life. It's so catchy. It is
for me on this album, the riff that I remember the most is the riff from Matriarch.
Which one?
Yeah,
that is fucking brilliant. Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I think this album is a phenomenal mixture of like their faster, thrashier stuff.
Yeah, of fast with neoclassical elements, and Trevor's just like non-stop doing vocals on this album. It's insane.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you get Lonely Deceased, which again, another fucking brilliant closer. Like, come on, man. Like, how the fuck are we ranking these? Like, I don't understand how we managed to get to this point. Like, I'm like just talking about these albums again. I'm
Yeah,
now
then afterwards,
reconsidering
talk
everything.
about neoclassical and being influenced by Van Halen and stuff. The song, no, that's the wrong album. As Good as Dead has this
Yes.
almost glam like Whitesnake inspired riff in the background,
Yeah.
where it's just like these full chords of
Mm,
being just open and more than just a power chord, and it sounds
yeah.
insanely good.
Yeah, I know. Like on paper, that sounds like that would be a fucking dumpster fire, and just like one influence I would never want
Yeah,
to say, but it works, and that is because he is the best guitar player this band
Brandon
has
Ellis
had.
is a good guitarist. Yeah.
I think he's the
Uh,
best guitar.
uh,
I think he is easily the best guitar.
yeah, yeah. I think Brian and him work well together and can create some good riffs. But if
Yeah,
we're talking about ones that are besides Brian, because Brian's been there since the beginning. If we're talking
yeah.
about guitarists who kind of jumped in and out, then Brandon Ellis is obviously the best.
Yeah, obviously, Brian is in many ways like the heart and soul, along with Trev, right? But like, in terms of like,
yeah, they are the comedic geniuses as well.
yeah, absolutely. That's like the core elements. But yeah, to me as well, the other thing that stands out on this record, I think this is like I mean, the solos on this fucking thing are absolutely wild. Like it kind of
Yeah.
has the perfect combo of being like, yeah, having that neoclassical, like old school shred kind of thing going on that he does bring to the table, but it never feels like he's wanking. Like it's always got a bunch of feel. Like, dude, his vibrato on his strings. Fuck me, man. He managed like
I watched something about him, and he was saying that he tries to use everything at his disposal to make it look like to make it sound like his guitar is singing. So he's always using vibrato. He's always using the whammy bar to give it that sort of like more natural, not just like straight on the note, but it would like come out a little bit like a normal person's voice would do. And he does it so well of making it sound like the guitar is singing.
Those are my favorite kind of lead.
As weird as that is to say, within a death metal band.
It doesn't have to be, and he's truth. And I mean, in general, and this goes even beyond metal for me. Like my favorite kind of lead players, like lead guitar players, have always been the ones that make their guitars sing. Like if you can make those notes like really bend in a way that it really you get the emotion out of it, like, and you really give it the feel, like, and you know, people have often accused all forms of extreme metal of just being bashing the fuck out of instruments and just trying to make a racket. But it's players like him who prove that this stuff can be, you know, powerful and emotive and expressive. And I mean, he's one of those guitarists for me. Like as far as metal goes, he's like one of the full packages. Like what he brought to this band, I think, is phenomenal. And I think the Nightbringers was a serious fucking turning point, and just in general, like it did.
Also, production wise, it sounded different. Production wise,
it sounds fucking huge. This album, it sounds really massive, and it's like a perfect combination of like. It's not trying to sound lo-fi at all. It is a big production job, but it doesn't sound overproduced at all. It still sounds like you are listening to a band of guys playing off each other. Like it still sounds natural, but it sounds massive at the same time. Like I've got to imagine to make your album sound like that has got to be such a difficult like balancing act. Like, and perfect. Like just a fucking sonker. One of my favorites by this band. Honestly, like fucking.
We'll see what I say when we get to the rankings.
All right,
I definitely like this album.
I love Nightbringers. What a fucking record.
I love it. Okay, I'll say I love it.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Which brings us to last year. 2020.
This was my first exposure to Black Dahlia Murder.
Absolutely. So yeah, this came out just as you were getting into death metal, right?
Just as I was starting. Yeah, it would have been because like I think I would because the Cattle Decap video for Bring Back the Plague would have only just come out, and that's really what made me obsessed with that. And because I was watching lots of Metal Blade stuff, this was released on Metal Blade, and I listened to this, and I was like, holy shit, this is like insane. So, I mean, we're talking about guitar solos. I might as well get it out of the way. Sunless Empire.
Oh yeah, fuck me.
That solo is like, just from the intro alone, where it's just that like squeal, but he does it. It's so gentle. It's not like a dime bag, because it is a dime bag where you go down on the wiring bar and then bring it back up when you do a harmonic. But it's not aggressive sounding like when Dimebag does it. It's like almost gentle in a way.
It's got that mystique.
It eases itself in. Yeah, it eases itself in, kind of like the song does, because it has that intro of like the choir, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then obviously it's like just this super like fucking feelsy solo.
Yeah,
that's so good. And especially like after it comes in after the song really slows down, and it's just like super emotive, because it sounds like everything's crumbling down, because it's the Sunless Empire, and it's just like this Throne of Skulls was built to last, and then it comes into this fucking insanely good solo.
Yeah, that's
man, it's where Nightbringers was very fast and unrelenting. Verminous, they kind of reeled it back in. It still has the fast parts, obviously, because we're talking about Black Dahlia Murder here. They reeled it back in. And even for like Trevor, because you watched the Metal Injection interview, even he says himself, he feels like he drew it back on the vocals for the first time in like since the beginning of this band. He had moments where he wasn't doing anything, and he was just letting them play for like a verse or something.
Yeah, right.
So, and it was just no vocals, because normally throughout every single Black Dahlia Murder song, it's just like his high scream just all the time, super fast.
Yeah.
And here there's sections where it's all about the musical elements, because they're that good now where they can have musical parts, and it's like,
yeah, you know what I mean? Like you've got a group of players here who are all like legitimate, like top tier musicians. You know what I mean? But on top of that, they're also, I think, like, we're talking about dudes that have become legitimately great composers. Like, I do feel as though this album. The thing I love about Verminous is this seems to have a real flow throughout the record, which isn't to say that I think all of them have in a way, but like I really feel as though the way that they've sequenced these songs, I don't know how true this is or not, but it feels as though they really like thought about the peaks and the valleys of the whole thing, and kind of as a it is a concept album, like loosely, isn't it? Like I remember reading that somewhere. Like
because he says the album's about how metalheads, we are verminous and we're rats, and we're kind of just like skittering around in our own underground, and we'll one day overthrow everything, is how he described it. I remember because the album came out in lockdown, and I had some fucking English task, which was to analyze someone's speech. And so I took that whole quote that he said, and I used it to analyze and like shit like that, because I thought it was a good quote, and obviously it's something that I was well versed in, so I didn't have to take some politician that I'd never fucking heard of.
Yeah, fuck that.
And it was short, but it was like, it was something about how the underground and how we're kind of in our own thing, just like everyone kind of thinks that we're lower tier and that we're like fucking.
We're a bunch of fucking like low IQ fucking like weirdos. Yeah,
we're just second-class citizens, degenerates. Yeah, and he says that like we need to be together, because it's the kind of thing where they used to be segregated from not segregated. That's the wrong word.
Has certain implications, but it's not wrong. Like I know,
No, it's not wrong. But when you say segregated, people think of those things. But
that has a certain implication. Yeah.
They were kind of pushed out the metal scene. And now that they've been kind of run back in because they've broken down some people's walls, they're trying to say we need to stop fighting between each other. Yeah. And we need to bring it, because I mean, lately I'd say that maybe we've been starting to get better at not always bickering at each other about what band's good and what band's not good.
In my time of being a metalhead, it has improved so much since when I was younger. Like like legitimately, like when I first started getting into this stuff, if you admitted that you liked, like for example, like I fucking love Slipknot. Till the day I die, I love Slipknot. If I said that
Yeah.
back in the day to certain people that I love Slipknot, they would have legitimately told me to get the fuck out. Like, oh, what are you, a child? Like, that's not real metal. Fuck off. Whereas now, like, for most people might go like, oh, Slipknot is shit, but cool, whatever, man. Which is, that's called being an adult. You know what I mean?
That's the right way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I've got no problem with if someone doesn't like them, but that
opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, and they all fucking smell.
They do indeed, but yeah, I definitely love that as a message, because I completely agree. I think that we do need to band together.
It also makes the album feel so much more homely, doesn't it? It makes it feel like something
This record really, like, it feels really dramatic to me. Like that they really brought the drama out. Like like that. Whereas like a lot of times, and this isn't a bash whatsoever. I love a lot of their albums like that. It's like we're just going to write songs, or we're just going to write riffs. Whereas this kind of like I said, it has a flow to it, and it kind of feels almost like some kind of an epic old tale or something. And there's like man, removal of the oaken stake. That's a fucking riff right there, though. Like
we're gonna name like every single song on here, because every single song has like its fucking peak.
Yeah.
Vominous, incredible song. Godlessly, incredible song. Removal of the oaken stake, incredible. Child of Night, fucking insanely good. Sunless Empire, All the Feel,
the Werewolves Feast. I want to talk about the Werewolves.
I was about to talk about that one.
Yes,
yeah, I was going to talk about that. All right. The main thing that I remember in this one is when they go towards that like palm muted tremolo picked, and he says, "We are the wriggling, like fucking festering thing inside your skull."
Yeah.
And in time will multiply. And then after it like stops, because you think it's building up to something that's gonna go fucking booming, but no, it stops and it's like mellows out and it's boom,
so good.
That fucking riff, and it's just like the lyrics are insane. I forgot about that. Yeah, Vominous.
Yeah, you actually own the record.
The chorus lyrics are but the chorus lyrics, man, they jumped out of my head right now quickly, because I have a booklet here that makes it way more easier. Oh yeah, the Werewolves Feast is like fucking the Werewolves Feast is gluttonous, and that fucking way that he says it, just the Werewolves Feast is gluttonous, and it's like, goddamn,
his vocals on that song are different. Like, and I love it. Like it's a bit more of like
well, I'd say on this whole album they're pretty different.
Yeah, it feels like less of a shriek. He kind of like brings it down a little bit, this album, in terms of the tone. Like, what I mean? I love it. Like, he's still got that enunciation there, but it sounds a bit more. I don't want to say.
And also his lows are sound really good. Like Child of Night's the best place, because like that's from the get-go that he does those lows. But also I do always mishear that lyric, and I've never actually looked up what the real lyric is.
What do you think?
That first line does sound like my pee-pee. That always sounds like my pee-pee. It always sounds like he says my pee-pee to me. And then after I was like, okay, I might as well say my pee-pee comes all sorts, because that's genuinely what it sounds like.
The internet has ruined us, man. It's completely ruined us. Well, what does he actually say?
No, so it's not the first line. No, it's not the first line. But it's within like the first few lyrics. And that's not the internet. That's just from my listening. I always thought he said my pee-pee. So, but yeah. Which one is it? My feet become as hooves.
My feet
somehow
become as
that
hooves.
as my pee-pee.
Fantastic.
Okay, no, I see. I can hear it, because it's the way that he says it, isn't it? Because he goes like, "My feet become as hooves."
Yeah.
You know what I mean now?
Yeah, of course.
It's that part.
Certain like sounds are very easy to mishear in that kind of like high register. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, that's in like a lower register that does that part.
Oh yeah, of course it is. My brain. But mate, this to me again, like in terms of like whereas before it kind of felt as though with Nightbringers, it felt as though just in terms of it just felt as though all their hard work over the years was finally culminating in terms of like people just going, wait a minute, these guys are like, they kind of like, it was like people all of a sudden realized at once, like, wait a minute, these guys have been killing it for way too long for us to not recognize this en masse. And it did extremely well, Nightbringers. I want to say it was it was the most pre-ordered album in Metal Blade history. Like that, it got the most pre-orders of any album.
Yeah, they're starting to overtake Cannibal Corpse at this point, aren't they?
Yeah, no, they really are. But with this album, it feels like another like term, but almost creatively in terms of like they're just the general vibe of the record is starting to shift into like that classic metal kind of influence is starting to seep through slightly in a way that's
also like instead of only having the atmospheric part on the first track, they have it on the ending track as well.
Yeah, they do.
Like on the ending track, there's all the
squeaking. Oh my god! Can we talk about that final song? That song gives me the feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like for me, Dawn of Rats and I Will Return are about Pete. I think I might actually
that when because this was obviously the first Black Dahlia record I'd ever heard. That was the song that really stood out to me. Was Dawn of the Rats and Werewolf's Feast.
Yeah, no, Dawn of Rats is fucking unreal. Like I actually think I might prefer that to I Will Return, and that was my favorite for fucking years. So that's really saying something. Dawn of Rats is amazing. It gives me that feely chest feeling, like, you know what I mean? Where I'm just like, like I love any melodic death metal that kind of has that kind of like triumphant, epic, but kind of sad feel to it. I'm an absolute fucking just a mark for it. Oh man, what a track! What a fucking record. What a fucking discography. Oh my God. I think we're going to have to do it, aren't we, Sean? We're going to have to get on to business.
Also, real quick. The
okay, go on.
This has two bonus tracks. It has one called Their Thwarted Patience, which I believe might be an original because I can't find it anywhere on Spotify or anything. And then afterwards, you've got a Megadeth cover of Go to Hell. That won't age well now, will it though? With it being a Megadeth cover.
Oh yeah, thing happened, didn't it? Yeah. Oh, fucking bass players, man. No, I don't want to.
Yeah. If anyone was gonna be it was Dave Mustaine. I mean, he looks the part, but whatever. We're not gonna get into that.
We love you, really, David. We do, but yeah, no.
Yeah, we love Dave Mustaine, even though you sound a bit weird. But
yeah, I mean, again, not we've established it. I don't like his vocals much, but yeah, you got to respect a legend like that who's that good at guitar. But anyway, enough stalling. We've got to get onto this and do this right fucking now, because otherwise, I'm never going to do it, even though I'm really, really dreading this.
Yeah, okay. I'm dreading it. I don't know if I'm right.
I'm looking at my list again right now, and it's all wrong. But let's just fucking do it. Right, so let's start out with the obvious one. This is about the only obvious one there is. The bottom one is Unhallowed for me. I agree.
Yeah, we might as well just like, we won't take times because normally we take times, but on this one we won't, because we both agree and we both know that we put it at the bottom. So
it's just, to me, it's obviously the one that has to be at the bottom, but you know, it's a debut. They were tiny children back then who didn't know what they were doing.
As you said,
they were. They didn't.
I can't say that.
They hadn't. Well, you know, but in the grander scheme of things, they were little. Yeah. They were little doinks and little squirts who just figured out that they loved like death metal, and it's fun record, but it's not up there as one of them. But it is the one which doesn't sound like the Black Dahlia Murder yet, but. Yeah, we'd already got onto that. So, do you want me to go to the one next, or do you want to do the one next?
I don't mind, whatever you feel like doing.
Fuck it, I'll take the reins. It's got to be Deflorate, man, for me. I really do enjoy that album, but upon really thinking about it, it is the one which I struggle to remember the most, just from song for song. And a lot of what I go for this band is catchiness. Like I always enjoy how catchy they are. To me, like it doesn't quite have those standout moments apart from I Will Return. That's always the one I personally remember. I fucking love I Will Return. Great energy, some fucking great riffs, some brilliant fucking sections where it's just balls to the wall, but that is kind of at the expense of it being memorable. Yeah, that's my number 8 with Deflor 8. See what I mean? Deflor 8.
Yeah, I know it rhymes.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's like poetry. What's your number 8, mate?
My number 8 is also Deflor 8.
Fucking hell.
I wholly agree. Agree.
All right.
That means that we're doing something right, doesn't it?
Shit. No, I mean, that's weird because I did consider swapping this out with something else, but it just didn't feel right for me to do that.
I feel like the next album is going to be the same as well. But yeah, I agree. Riffs are good. To me, the best song on the album is Necropolis.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, Necropolis is a good song. But yeah,
maybe the video makes me biased.
Yeah, I always just think of the video when I think of the song. I do like it, but it's not to me like like for me it's I Will Return is the one where I'm like yeah absolutely. All right then. I'll carry on with actually I'll just ask you, is your 7th one Miasma?
Oh no, it isn't. Okay, no, it's not.
Okay, all right. No, my seventh one was Miasma, and I really love Miasma. Like I said, for me, it's the first.
That makes me feel worse about my number 7, knowing that you put Miasma down there, and now I said that. Oh man, whatever.
No, it's all right. As I've said, I do love Miasma. Miasma has some brilliant fucking stuff there. They all have brilliant stuff. I really love this album, but for me, it just edges out. Like literally the difference between this one and the one above it is like this. It's literally like this.
Yeah.
For me, it just kind of in other records which came a little later, they took what they were doing here and just fucking upped it in a way that kind of makes it feel a little bit lesser. But like I've said before, man, like Saturate is fucking brilliant. Fucking there's a bunch of good tracks which I can't remember because my memory's terrible. But yeah. It's a good album, but it has to be my number 7. What's your number 7 then?
My number 7 is Abysmal, even though I really like this album.
Yeah, fair enough.
But now that you said, like, it feels so wrong having Abysmal at number 7.
It all feels wrong, mate. Don't worry about it.
Such a good album. The guitar work on that fucking album is insane. And like you probably could tell that I love Threat Level number 3. That song's so fucking good.
Yeah, it is.
Just, like, there's stuff that's better, but it just feels so wrong having it at number 7.
Yeah, I know. And it also feels wrong having it at number 6 for me. Like,
yeah,
it's my number 6. I mean, the reason I put it a bit above Miasma is because I do like just the fucking relentless assault of it. Like, there is a certain, there is a charm to just how fucking relentless it is. And yeah, Threat number 3, I fully agree. The big single off that album is the best song on there for sure. But I like that. Occasionally I will put this one on, just when I want it to just be just fucking be a flurry of riffs. Just, I think it might be their most relentless album from front to back. You know what I mean? It has that kind of a quality to it. So I do love it for that. But again, it's kind of at the expense of the catchiness, which like I don't remember this album in the same way as a lot of the other stuff. But yeah, no, we basically agree with that. So yeah, what is your number 5?
My number 6. No, number 6.
Because my number 6 was thing as well, wasn't it? So we're on to number. Yeah, go on.
No, we're on to number 6. My number 7 was
All right, yeah.
I'm on number 6. Then it'll be your number 5.
All right. Okay. Wait a minute. Is that right? Sorry, man. I'm terrible with numbers.
No, I said my number 7 was Abysmal, and you said I felt wrong about putting it up number 6.
So yeah, the next one is your number 6.
Yes.
Yes. Right, go for it. What's your number 6?
Right. Yeah, this one's probably going to annoy you, but my number 6 is Ritual.
Fair enough. No, yeah.
I mean, like I said, there's so many good songs. Dead of the Picarist, On Stirring Seas, Assaulted Blood. Malenchantments of the Necrosphere. All those songs are really fucking good, but you just gotta go with what you think is slightly better. Because at this point, where the albums are only better by like this fucking much.
This is
There's
the
barely
reason
much
why,
space
like,
for
you
them
know,
to be
you said,
better.
oh, this is probably going to annoy you. It doesn't, because I get it. Like, you can't, like, from this point onward, this is like legitimately all informed by personal bias, because I can't do it any other way. So fair enough. If that's how far down Richard's feud, then fucking cool. Like, it is all a matter of personal taste at this point. But yeah, no, we'll get to that in a bit. My number 5. This is probably going to annoy you. Actually, it's probably Verminous. Now, I don't know. I don't know if this is because I've had less time with it, because I feel as though with more time.
Maybe I like Verminous because it was my first exposure to this band, and it was kind of when it was when I was only just getting into this just like certain genre of metal.
But this is the thing. This is one of the at this point, right? Like this is the real point in the discography for me, where it's like these are all 10 out of 10s. Like every single one of these albums, I think is like legitimately god tier. Like I feel as though throughout time, like these could all switch around just completely on mass. Like I reckon at certain points, Verminous could be my favorite, but I think again, like this is pure bias. I think this is might be just because I've spent less time with it, but I still think that Verminous is incredible. And Verminous is so good, but it's just like I don't have certain memories attached with it in the same way that I do some of the other ones, because legitimately that, like I've said before, that is the only way I've been able to do this one. I've really honestly tried to like give like legitimate musical reasons as to why ones are better than the other, and I fucking can't, because I love all these albums in different ways.
The album cover for Verminous, which you didn't actually talk about it surprisingly,
Holy
that
fuck.
one adds a few extra points.
I mean it's their best album cover. Yeah, I think it might be my favorite album cover of theirs.
It is their best album cover.
I love like Acidic Green. I love Acidic Green. Like not just on album covers, but I love that color in general, and it's so well done. And it reminds me of
fucking gnarly.
It reminds me of like an Ever Flying Stream by Dismember as well. So and I like
I see what you mean. Yeah,
and I like that's a fucking wicked album cover. So
like an Ever Flowing Stream of Predator blood.
Yay! Wonderful. All right. So this is your number 5 now, right? Or is it?
Yeah, my number 5 is Miasma, but as I spell it on my phone, Mioma. Apparently, I put a W. I don't know, man. Thumbs. Who knew that we'd be given opposable thumbs to just not be able to use them properly? But either way.
Yeah, well, we should just become apes again. That's why we listen to Slam.
But either way, Miasma, I think I hold it up there mainly for the song Miasma, and as well a Vulgar Picture. I really enjoy that song.
Yeah.
I'm Charming, as you said, that song's really good.
Also, I'm Charming.
Song titles are pretty funny.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, because I mean, the first time I heard the song Miasma was watching like his dedicated live video to it, and when Trevor says "just another piece of shit," that fucking part made me like, I immediately fell in love with this song when he screams that line out, and so that's my number 5, because like the riffs, and maybe once again, like I said with the Trivium one, maybe, I mean, they weren't as youthful as Trivium were, but maybe because it was kind of in their youth, I connect to it a bit more. But it's still quite a bit older than I am, but it has the youthful energy in it still.
It's like I've said, to me, it's the first record where they really got that energy that I like from them. Like it's got that certain blasty, excitable, like almost like party death metal thing like going on. It's a fucking great record, man. I mean, the only reason I put it down as low as I did was just because I think other records did what they did on that a bit better. But again, we're talking about this band's discography, so it's all well and good. Okay. My number 4 is Nightbringers.
What? That surprises me. I thought you loved that album.
Nightbringers is a masterpiece, right? Nightbringers is one of their best albums. But like, Oh, fuck. This is where, fuck, I'm dropping everything because this is not okay.
He's a broken man.
This is where this becomes disgusting for me. This is where I am no longer having fun. It is like,
I thought this was going to be fun, listen to Black Dahlia Murder records, but also I didn't think about the fact that we have to rank these fucking things.
Yeah, no. Nightbringers is fucking legitimately flawless. It's wonderful. It's a turning point for the band. It's like the best metal record released that year, and yet it's still number 4 because I don't know. It just for me, they're the only reason this is number 4 is because the other 3 above it have more particular special meaning to me. Like I like,
yeah.
I mean, everything we talked about is absolutely true. Like there's so much in the way of both that assault, that fucking straight up like fast paced assault, and also the catchiness. It's fucking beautiful. I adore it. It's one of the best. Oh my God. Save me. I don't want to do this anymore. Please, God, why? What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Ever Black.
Fair dues. Yeah. Cool.
If I listen to this record, it's for Riffs by man, that song title. My brain cannot fucking say song titles that have more than 3 words. Raped in Hatred by Vines of Thorn. That's it.
That's the one.
Into Phantom and Masturbation, because those songs are like my 2 favorites of that album for sure.
Two of their best in general, to be honest. But yeah, no.
I agree with that. Just once again, like we're at a point where everything's flawless. It's just it's a bit fucking hard to rank them. like and not feel like a piece of shit.
Honestly, it's a good thing that I'm not there, because I would probably, and your mother would have to fucking clean my spattered brains off of your wall from me hitting my head against it, just going, no, why? Like, no. I mean, Ever Black is really good, but I'll be talking about that at some point.
Pretty brutal. If you did spatter your brains across my walls.
I mean, you'd have to keep it there, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? It's like, this used to be my friend Manny. This is what he.
I didn't kill him. This is why you don't try and rank the Black Dahlia Murder, all right?
I'm keeping him there. This is what he'd want, and it is what I would want. It is exactly.
This is also a reminder. This is also a reminder to, like, a disclaimer to everyone to not rank this band.
No, definitely not. But yeah, Ever Black. It's king catchy. I completely agree. My number 3 is Ritual. I think, like I said, the thing that stands out to me on this record is I fucking love the variation from track to track. I just find like this is one of the easiest ones for me to listen to in one sitting, easy, because it kind of takes you on a ride in different vibes, and they kill it all. They kill all of it, like every single like sort of thing they take you on. It definitely was the first time you saw them bringing in more diverse influences in general. Like as we said, like, holds a special place in my heart, and I didn't immediately love Ritual. I think because it was very different. But as the years have gone on, I've just become so warm to it. I think it's just one of their fucking best records, as is all of these ones. Like, good fucking God. Oh, this hurts me, Sean. This hurts me. This hurts me in my soul.
It hurts me as well.
Right. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Verminous.
Fair dues, yeah. Fair fucking dues.
Yeah, I shred it on guitars. Fucking, I like how they kind of, well, at this point, I didn't know that they slowed down, because that was my first exposure. But otherwise, now I like how they kind of slowed it down and made it more of a songwriting aspect. And look at how fast I can go.
yeah, absolutely.
Even though I do like some bands that like go, look at how fast I can go. I mean, I like some tech death bands. And some of them doing like, because lots of tech death, absolute wankery.
Yeah.
Necrophagus, they managed to keep it catchy. Archspire, I find Archspire like to be one of the most catchiest bands I've ever actually listened to.
I love Archspire vocals, and I always have done. Like, to me, it's just the machine gun vocals,
that guitar riff is so fucking catchy.
Yeah, I'm a big Archspire fan too. Definitely.
Yeah, but I like how they kind of drew it back, and maybe that album cover gives me a bias, but and also Brandon Ellis is a bit of a
He's a
bit of
G. He's an
guitarist.
absolute G on the guitar, mate. Like, fuck's sake, the guy can play
Also,
like a motherfucking
just looking
riot.
at him, you can tell he's a guitar god because you just look at his hair and it's like that guy rips it on guitar. I can fucking tell.
He also has like those fucked up gigantic fingers, which all of the best guitar players seem to have. He's like just got like spider hands. It's just nutcase. Brilliant fucking record for sure. Oh, okay.
You gotta guess that this is Nocturnal.
You win. It is Nocturnal.
Hey.
You win. Yeah, no, Nocturnal is my number 2. Like I've said before, this is the nostalgic one. This is the one I've been listening to for the longest. I've probably listened to this the most out of all of them, and it just this is like my happy place. Black Dahlia Murder record. I love it. I really do love it. It's just it's their first. It's their first proper masterpiece, I reckon. This is where we started to understand how great they were. I knew it was fucking brilliant at the time, but I think it's become more obvious how fucking good it was when you compare it to, like, in the grand scheme of things, what a fucking step up it was. Like, there are some of these songs I will remember for the rest of my life. Like, literally, I'm going to be fucking, like, 65 years old, like, sitting there in my armchair, like looking out the window, just with the fucking riff to like Death Master Vine going around in my head. I know I am. It's just the fact of the matter. Like, it just makes me fucking so happy, this record. It's got so many good riffs. It's fucking heavy as shit. It's just perfect. Like, I just can't even. It's fucking, this hurts so much to even do this. Just fucking give me a number 2, please.
Yeah, my number 2 is also Nocturnal.
Yeah.
Even though I fucking love the record, there was a time when I heard What Whole Night to Have a Curse, and I like literally remember staying up, like just in my bed, and I was just lying down, and I listened to that song on repeat, and like from 11 o'clock till 3 o'clock in the morning. I literally listened to nothing but that song for 4 hours.
It is an addictive tune, man. It is an extremely addictive tune. Addictive fucking record, to be honest. Like, I think there's been a few times where I'm pretty sure, like, over the years, I've just listened to this album like twice on the trot.
Also, speaking about good music videos, we totally forgot to talk about the music video of Everything Went Black.
What happens in that one?
Where it's almost like when it's like a comic book style, and it's like 3 like tales of bad things happening.
Yeah.
So, one guy gets attacked by the ape when it's inside the box, and he gets eaten alive by it. The other one,
holy shit, I haven't seen that in so long.
Touches a rock. Yeah, touches a rock, and he fucking turns into
nostalgia.
Yeah, and he fucking turns into just a bunch of moss. And then after the last one is when the one guy finds out that this guy's cheating on his girlfriend. He buries them both and drowns them. And then they come back to life and bury him. And at the end, it's just, I can hold my breath for a long time.
Mate, when we get off this record, that is the first thing I'm doing, is watching that music video.
Yeah. When I first heard the I can hold my breath for a long time part, I fucking lost my shit. That was so funny.
Dude, when we get off this Zoom call, the very first thing I'm doing, no exaggeration, is watching it. I don't think I've seen that for literally about 12 years. Like, I haven't watched that music video in
I haven't seen it for like 2 months.
Oh, the differences in the thing. But yeah, no, Nocturnal is I mean, it's a modern fucking classic, man. There's like no 2 ways about it. It's like,
it's definitely a classic record.
Yeah, for within their not just within their back catalogue, it's kind of like, it's considered like one of the best of its era, I think, in general. But what a fucking good album, right? Okay, I'm laying down the law now. We're at the number 1. If you've been paying attention, you know it's Everblack. I know I know that might be a controversial opinion amongst a lot of people, and this is the main reason why I said to you, like, my list feels wrong, because I looked at that, I went, I was just like, is it? But
then again, like,
heart,
we welcome controversy on this. Like,
my
I'm pretty
heart
sure
of hearts,
every single album ranking we've done has been controversial.
yeah, in my heart of hearts, right? In my heart of hearts, is my absolute favorite, and there's one reason for that. It's that I think it is the most consistent within the one track list. It's just, like I said, the thing that I think this band have managed to do over the years, maybe better than anyone else within amongst their contemporaries, and I think even of all time within death metal. When this band gets catchy, I think they are among the catchiest metal bands that have ever existed in terms of just guitar work, especially, right? And honestly, like, there are so many moments on Everblack that are just seared into my fucking brain because they are so, like, amazingly catchy. Like, it's like anthemic. Like, there's a real anthemic, and it's just like banger, banger, banger. Like, every single fucking song at least has a moment in it where I'm like, this bangs. Like, it's just incredible. It's fucking unbelievable. Like, I mean, some days I don't think I would pick this album, but I have to go with what I feel right at this moment, and it still feels wrong because, like, some days, like, for a little bit,
the whole list feels wrong.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I do have to put Everblack as my favorite because it just has so many unfucking real songs on it, and it's just like, it makes me so happy at points where I put it on at full volume and I just, like, fucking get my claw out and rage. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's fucking beautiful. I like, again, I just think this album's so weirdly underrated within their back catalogue. Like, it doesn't. There's definitely people who bat for it. There's definitely people who bat for it, but it's not like one of the ones that loads of people talk about all the time. But yeah, I think it's my favorite. It has been for the last little bit anyway, so I have to go with that, man. Everblack is my favorite, is the number one Black Dahlia Murder album in my ranking. Sean, mate, what's yours?
Well, as you said, if you've been paying attention, my favorite is Nightbringers. I did not see this coming.
Yeah. No, man.
Honestly,
no.
I did not see Nightbringers being my favorite album.
But at one point it was mine too. Like, I remember a few months after it came out, and I've been listening to it for a lot. I was just like, this is their best fucking record. Like, this is easily their best fucking record. You know what I mean? Like, it's they're one of those bands where it's literally been mixing up all the time for me. Every time I revisit their back catalogue, it changes every single time, which is bananas. But yeah, tell me why it's your favourite one.
Well, I mean, probably because Brendan Ellis had only just joined, and obviously he's a phenomenal guitarist, and I like how most of the parts are really unrelenting. Because the first track I heard off of this album was Matriarch, and that wasn't like by listening to the album. That was a guitar playthrough that both Brian and Brandon had done.
I think I saw
watching
that.
Them play that fucking riff is like crazy fucking good.
Yes, brilliant.
And then after I read the lyrics and everything, and I learned about what the song was about, and I thought it was a pretty cool thing to write a song about. And I just find that the songs on here are just so fucking catchy to me. Even though, like, I find the Kings of the Night World chorus cheesy as fuck. It just works well in the Black Dahlia Murder way.
Yeah, definitely.
Our words are struggling to explain why I like the album, because there's like almost, it's hard to say when the band's this consistent.
Yeah.
But then obviously, I guess I heard Catacomb, Hatacomb, and that one was like just that part where it's screaming as you're both eaten alive is so fucking good. That
is always one of the highlights of the album every time. Like, but that part is just
and also that whole song's great. Nightbringers is a great song. I mean, it's just full of great songs that have like technical guitar chops on it and drumming chops on it, and Trevor is just unrelentingly good at his vocals on this album. I don't know. I wasn't expecting to have this be my favorite album, honestly.
But this is the thing. Like I wasn't expecting it to be Everblack, man. Like, you know, I'm like, they're one of those bands who, when you really do have to like. It's weird.
I remember actually, I kind of avoided Everblack until you told me to listen to it, because Black Dahlia Murder released like when Everblack came out, they released like a makeup palette for it. Right? It just made me think. It kind of like and it had the album cover on it, and it was like, I just thought, man, this album, like I already knew by this point that they weren't super metalcore or like that cliche band, but just seeing that made me think, oh, that album's just a bit like, it's a bit generic and boring, and it's for all the like, it's for all the Instagram like goth girls who try and fucking just make themselves look like metalheads by wearing metal merch, but scantily clad, you know. It's like, hey, so it kind of gave me a bad rep.
If they're supporting artists, they can be.
Yeah, I am not. Yeah,
all they want.
They can do what they want.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, no. That's what I mean. Like, they're one of those bands, and this is just proving it to me, where it's like, within what they do, there's sort of like all of these different flavors where they've managed to get so consistent and so like good at their craft.
So many people's so many people's guards down, and also just introducing themselves into many places. Because I mean, playing Warped Tour, that must have been fucking huge.
Yeah, no, massive.
What's there?
I remember
pop punk bands and stuff like that.
I remember like a really fun part where
they said that they.
Gone.
Oh yeah, they said that they like didn't mind playing Warped Tour. The only issue was that they had to listen to so much shit all the time.
Yeah, no, there's a really funny clip where I think it's you know, other man who's been in the band since the beginning, who isn't Trev. My fucking brain, I'm such a moron. What's his name? Brian. He's going around.
Brian is back.
Yeah, and he's walking around with a beer, and like he's just talking to the punters, and he's just like, he's like, hey, young spunk, do you like any death metal? And the kid's just like, oh yeah, man, recently I've been really into that band Attila. Like, yeah, dude, they're super heavy. He's like,
yeah. I remember that fucking.
And then he's like, son, I think you need to listen to some Morbid Angel.
Yeah, dude, I mean, think he said, and I remember the kid says like, yeah, I'm not quite sure if they're like straight death metal, but I really like Attila, and it's like, you could be more far off.
Oh, Attila, what?
Like, even if you just said something like Whitney Houston, you would have been fucking closer. Like, come on.
Oh, but Attila are very funny though. Like, I must admit, I have enjoyed listening to Attila, not for the intended purposes, but I've had a great time.
It's like how I said, like what I said about Elida Venom Insanus. I enjoyed listening to it just for its weirdness, and just like, it's like Insane Clown Posse. You're not listening to it for how good it is. You're just listening to it because it's fucking funny, because these guys are taking themselves seriously, but not, and it's just a weird
yeah, and also now, because of Attila, I know what it sounds like when a pterodactyl starts rapping. You know, it's just it's great fun. But yes, they've managed to warm themselves to all different areas of metal. And like they have, like I said, like it's one of the main things I find so endearing about them. They will fucking play with anyone, like, you know what I mean, within reason.
And now that we have finished the discography, it is time to have a dedicated section as to why Travis Gennard should be on this podcast.
Oh boy! So yeah, this is a bit of a pie in the sky. It's highly unlikely.
Yeah, I don't know why we're aspiring for this.
But no, we're aspiring for this because we both like fucking fanboy over that man, like to an insane amount. Like I've been I've loved the fuck out of Trev, especially since I started reading the Obituarist, like, and sort of like getting into like and that, like, sort of going, oh, this dude is like one of the biggest metal nerds of all time, like of anyone who has ever
plays
lived.
Like, it's impressive though, because like so many metal bands, they say, oh yeah, when we're on the road, we don't really like listening to metal, especially when we're at the house, because it's our job at this point. We don't really like it. Whereas Trevor's like, fucking, I don't care if it's just another copycat of Entombed. I'll take it because that's something else to add to my collection.
Yeah, no, exactly. He's just like, yeah, no, I wake up in the morning and I log on to the metal
Listen to
archives.
fucking Guttural Secrete.
Like this is me. This is what I do. Like I feel like I have a blank Facebook page where it's just fucking metal, and that, you know, I mean, like the guy.
Yeah, where he follows every single metal band that he finds, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, like, he's dedicated and obsessed in a way that I'm not sure I've ever seen anyone. I mean, his dedication to death metal, particularly, but extreme metal at large, is just, it's on a different fucking level. He
As
just
someone who wants to collect that sort of stuff, to me it's impressive, but to other people it probably just seems like, oh, what a fucking nerd.
But I mean, it is. But like, he's our nerd. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. That's the thing. I think that's the reason why he's become so beloved amongst metalheads, because it's just like, you can't fucking fake being that passionate about anything. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't. Like, he is just, and he seems like such a good dude, such a good.
Well, I think most of the band does, because like they're all just comic relief, really.
Well, they just seem like chill guys with insane work ethics. You know what I mean? Which is like, usually you either get one or the other. You know, it's like, oh, they're really good dudes, but they kind of fuck around as a band. There's big fucking things in between, or they've got really good, massive work ethics, but they take themselves way too fucking seriously. Whereas like Black Dahlia are just kind of like that perfect thing in the middle. But yeah,
Trev. The great thing about drop tuning is I'm rocking out while I'm drinking, smoking, and now eating. That's like probably one of my favorite things. Brian just there chugging and telling everyone why drop tuning's so good, even though they don't play in drop tuning, they play in C standard. But it's obviously joking, because at the time that was what everyone was doing, was playing in drop tuning, and it was just moving his hand around, taking a drink, eating, smoking, whilst fucking just chugging on that fucking drop string. It's funny.
Yeah, no, he should try and play Bleed by Meshuggah. Oh, doing all of that stuff. Like, he won't have a good time. Oh, fuck that. Like, but we're gonna. I don't know how we're gonna make it happen, but if by any chance, and I mean, you're definitely not.
He didn't answer my DM.
oh yeah, it's like, it's not like his DMs are like full to the fucking
probably
brim.
Full to the brim, yeah.
To literally, he probably gets like 20 different podcasts a day. Like, I'll ask him, hey dude, can you be on our podcast? Like, so
it's always the same message.
Yeah, like, we love you so much. Like, you know what I mean? But so I'm not holding out hope too much, but man,
no,
we're gonna try.
How good will it be? How good will it be?
I will try.
I'm gonna use this as a way of tagging him in the post.
Okay. Yes. Definitely. Definitely. We've done it. He's
gonna watch this and he's gonna be like, "What a fucking like! These guys are weird. These guys are just weird.
These guys suck. I don't want to go on the book. Yeah.
Look at what they're saying about my band. They don't even know what they're talking about. They don't even know like that band I found yesterday. Fucking."
But yeah, we are definitely. And I promise, this discography review has not been just a front to. Not at all.
We had this in mind before we even wanted to get Trevor on the podcast.
We've been nerding out over the Black Dahlia Murder since we first started talking.
It made us think, how funny would that, or how great would that be?
Well, he is
to have your spirit animal. I mean,
he is my spirit animal in many regards, and I would just, I think I would physically cry, like I would just burst into tears like a fangirl if I ever got the chance to talk to him. But we will try. We'll tag him in the post, and we'll see. You know, you miss every single shot you don't take. You know what I mean? So fuck it.
No matter how annoying you have to be.
Fuck it, mate. You only live once and your dignity is expendable. Who cares? Right.
Yes. Yeah, I've none left.
Well, nah, mate. I've run out years ago. Fuck it. But, right. What are we doing next week? This is how professional we are. What's in the can
We
for
don't
next
have
week?
anything planned for next week.
Well,
Because
the plan,
I
the
don't think
plan.
next week would work as monthly metal roundup because the week after that it's still May.
All right. Okay. Cool. So what we'll do, we'll figure out what the fuck we're doing. We'll probably post about it on the old socials. But next week, I am 100% going to be doing an in-person next time, and I'd like this time it's serious. No, for real. Like this time, like life isn't going to get in the way. We're 100% doing this shit. So don't know what it's going to be about yet. I mean, I'll have a look around, see if there's anything worthwhile reviewing, or we'll see if we'll see if there's something we want to talk about. Like, who knows? It's our fucking show. We do what we want. I don't care.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate that we have no brain and we have to be fed content.
Yeah, I know.
Or if not, when we're not fed content, the content is mediocre at best. But it may have not been what you asked for, and that's what I said when I first wanted to do this. I just said how fun would it be to just put on our unwanted opinions and unwanted conversations to the internet. So,
exactly. Well, now it's out there, and you can all judge me, and I can go about my merry day knowing that some guy who likes wearing Celtic Frost like patches on his battle vest hates me. Fantastic.
Yes,
right.
That's what we need.
That is what we need. Right. This has been both extremely fun and stressful, but I'm glad we fucking did it.
It's finally done.
I have been dreading it. I have been dreading it, but it's finally done. Fucking, I love the Black Dahlia Murder, and I think I'm going to stop listening to them for about a month now. Like I don't want to hear any more Black Dahlia Murder for a little bit, but I'm sure I will come crawling back like the little fanboy bitch I am. It's fine. But
yeah, all right.
This has been an extremely fun podcast. We will see you again next week. Sorry for the gap in between. Shouldn't happen again. Tune in next week for whatever we've got. There'll be some things on the socials. Stay brutal and eat some fucking beans.
Eat some fucking beans.
Yes, mate. Peace out, everyone. Much love.